the damage the Biden administration is doing to the infrastructure of the country is colossal.
Bill. Hello, Bill, you there?
He's probably connected him.
I am, sir.
How are you, my friend?
Good. Thanks for having me back.
Is there anything? Is there any new development since I had you back on promotion, or are we still just doing what are we promoting right now? Because I want to get all that out and stuff like that before.
Sure. Killing the Witches has sold 250,000 copies in a little more than 2 months.
I mean, Bill,
So
can I ask you?
Phenomenon, a great Christmas gift, that kind of thing. And then BillO'Reilly.com is where we live.
That's where everything starts and stops, including buying that said book at BillO'Reilly.com.
Yeah.
Bill,
but Amazon, Barnes and Noble, they all have them.
Bill, is it no figures needed? But I feel like we're friends. Like, is it when you sell 250,000 books in a month? Is that pretty lucrative?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it.
Bill, I almost got you out of character there. I almost did. I really did. Well, Bill won't put it over, though. Bill's stiff as hell, is he not?
Yeah.
He is. He's stiff. Bill, are you already working on your next book? I mean, you always probably. What's it called?
It's called Confronting the Presidents, No Spin Assessments from Washington to Biden. It comes out September 24 in time for the presidential campaign, and it evaluates every single president, whether they were good or bad for the country.
Now, Bill, I'm not a lot younger than you, but I'm a little bit younger. You're probably 2 presidents ahead of me as far as life. Like the first, I was born under LBJ. And can't start remembering presidents till like Nixon. So like my reference point of good or badness would be Nixon. And so like I'm going to give you my ranking and you tell me how far off I am. I actually think most Americans are kind of confused about Ronald Reagan, and they think Ronald Reagan was like this really, really good president. And I think he was, but I think he was also really, really corrupt and didn't get caught on a bunch of stuff.
Wasn't he called the Teflon president?
And so a lot of people like, oh, Ronald Reagan, the 80s, it's the best. But I think if you really peel Ronald Reagan's onion back, that there's probably, the Oliver North stuff, the G. Gordon Liddy stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there that people just kind of give Ron. Seems like Reagan got a pass for a lot of things. And maybe Bill Clinton was a little bit better of a president than we thought we had at the time, and we didn't appreciate. And I tend to lean conservative. That's where I tend to lean. But that's kind of my synopsis of presidents during my lifestyle. Then if you throw Trump in there, that's probably the one dude that I think has maybe did the most, whether good or bad. That's how I got it broken down to.
Well, Reagan, I wrote Killing Reagan. In the beginning, got pounded by the media. They hated him. And then he almost died after the assassination attempt. And then the sentiment kind of shifted. Now, Reagan was a good president because he was able to accomplish bringing the economy back from the brutal Carter years. And also he bankrupted the Soviet Union because they had guys like George Shultz around him, Schlesinger, guys like that, really knew how to deal with Moscow. He didn't micromanage, and that was the problem. So he allowed guys like Oliver North to do these campaigns that were exposed, arms, the Contra thing, and diverting money, and it wound up in Iran's hands and all of that stuff. So it's a mixed legacy for Reagan, but if you look at what he inherited from Carter,
it was a nightmare.
And how successful the economy, which is what most people care about, became, you'd have to put him in the good category.
Well, no, he's definitely in the good category.
Yeah, and Clinton was almost the same way in the sense that he inherited a bad economy from Bush the Elder, and that's why they booted Bush the Elder out, only in one term. And his stewardship restored prosperity, and I would say he was a good president in the sense that he was a technocrat. He knew what was happening, and he signed a tough welfare law. that get people off the dole and say, look, if we're going to give you money, you got to go out and look for a job. But the problem with Bill Clinton was that he divided the country, and he didn't have to do that. I know him fairly well, and that's the advantage that I have. I've talked to every president since Jimmy Carter. I mean, I had extensive conversations with all of them, with the exception of Biden. I have conversations with Biden.
He didn't know you're there.
No one has conversations with Biden.
He doesn't even know who. I mean, he thinks he remembers you from back in the day, but he doesn't know that you're really there.
He doesn't know that Jill is really there.
You should say, "Hey, Mr. President, either one of us really know. I mean, I know you don't remember me. I know who you are, but I don't even know that you know who you are, Joe." So
yeah, there was a song by Dion the Wanderer. That's pretty much where his theme song but wanders around.
Now, let me ask you a question. By the way, Bill O'Reilly on the phone. You can always go to BillO'Reilly.com. His latest book was based on the rich Salem witch trials, which is doing unbelievably well, and his next book is due out, I think, would you say last part of September, Bill?
Probably early September. We want to give everybody a chance to digest all this before they go to vote in November.
In today's got you world, Bill. In today's got you world, everybody's trying to get each other. Obviously the GOP is they're laser focused on Hunter Biden. The Democrats are laser focused on throwing 700 indictments on Trump. It's tit for tat. There is no more. I don't know. There's no more gentlemanly or decorum, because after Reagan's presidency, they probably could have brought him up on the Hill and caused all kinds of issues. After Clinton's presidency, they probably could have drug him up on the Hill. But I think back in the day, there was a certain amount of gentlemanlyship, or listen, we're not going to mess with the former president. Yes, he was shady and everything, and he did some stuff we could probably get him on, but he's the former president. Let's just
more respect for the office.
Let's just let him be. Not today, man. Today it's like, man, let's shove it up their ass, break it off, and try to make them look stupid. I mean, am I correct in that or not?
Yeah, because it shifted from politics to ideology. So a guy like Al Gore in 2000, I mean, he could have, as Trump has done, he could have just on and on and on and on with the election. But he didn't do that. He just said, okay, I mean, the Supreme Court has ruled this way, so I'm going to pack it, and Bush, the younger, is going to be president. And I admire Al Gore for doing that. Richard Nixon did the same thing. I mean, there's heavy evidence that JFK in Chicago and West Virginia, there was fraud in the election. But Nixon said, okay, yeah, I think there was too, but I'm not going to destroy the upcoming administration or the country, so I'll walk away. But now it's not about politics anymore. It's about ideology, the clash of cultures between traditional Americans and the progressive.
What do you think was the catalyst for that change from politics to ideology?
I probably started it. I mean, Ted Koppel blames me.
Thanks.
Because, and this is not hyperbole. I mean, this is the truth. When I came on in 1996 with the O'Reilly factor, in primetime television on the news side, there had never been anybody like me.
Mm-hmm.
Larry King was the reigning cable host, and Larry, he didn't know what day it was.
Well, yeah, Larry had a way. Larry, see,
which wife he had.
Well, you had a real.
I mean, Larry, hello.
You didn't know. Wasn't Larry married like eight or nine times?
I think at
like
least
that?
7.
I think it was 32 times.
I know. and he was so predictable on cardboard. It would be like Birmingham, Alabama. Hello, like it was. Just like it was. And then
he didn't bring a lot.
And
then
you
good guests.
But the guests
really didn't matter.
The guests didn't really have options back then.
Yeah, once I became successful and the Fox News channel rose up with opinion in primetime, then everything changed. Because every night you could go into a forum where everything was challenged, which is what we did. We just didn't challenge liberals and left-wingers. We challenged everybody.
Right. For sure.
And so then the ideologues came out and said, this guy O'Reilly's doing too much damage to the left. And I wasn't that popular in conservative precincts either. I mean, I don't know whether you remember, but Rush Limbaugh used to call me Ted Baxter.
Right.
I mean, he didn't
which by the way, you couldn't ask for a better promotion than right? I mean, call you Ted Baxter all you want to your 600 affiliates. Just keep mentioning my name, buddy.
I mean, but the point was that we were able to get a message out on a daily basis to millions of Americans that there's stuff going wrong here. So, and that had never been done before on television, ever. So once that started, then instead of politics, because I am not a party guy, I'm a registered independent, I don't have any loyalty to either party, then the ideology started up. And that's what we see today. So that's why it's so brutal out there, because there is no rapprochement between the people who want to change the country and bring it into a socialistic, I say hedonistic, because they don't want any tradition. They don't
atheistic.
Want any kind of regulation about anything. These are the far left people. And then the traditional people who hate them, and vice versa. So that's what dominates now.
Bill O'Reilly on the phone, BillO'Reilly.com, one-stop shopping with everything Bill does, including his, he does, I think, God, how many, like 300 or 400 affiliates, Bill, you have for your daily thing? And
yeah, we have more than 300 affiliates now with our commentary, and a lot of them take the No Spin News audio at night. See, we do television 4 nights a week, Monday through Thursday, and radio stations across the country, including our flagship WABC in New York, take the No Spin News, which is television, and they just run the audio on the radio. So it's a powerful, powerful tool now. We're very proud of what we developed here.
So now, and again, Bill, I apologize in advance for everybody asks you this question, and it probably pisses you off. So I apologize in advance. But like, if you had to cast your ballot right now for the president of the United States, who would it be?
Well, it would be Trump, because the damage the Biden administration is doing to the infrastructure of the country is colossal. Just the border alone. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is one of the worst things that a president of the United States has ever done to this country.
12,000 people in one day.
Top 3. And I'm standing there, I'm going, I don't care if Trump's obnoxious. I don't care if he lives in a fantasy world of the election was rigged. I don't care. He governed well for 4 years, and you can just tick off the sheet. Low inflation, high employment, no chaos overseas to speak of, destroyed ISIS, a lot of accomplishments. But they were masked by his personality, which he continues, to do. But if it's just a guy who can run the country at this point, in my opinion, Trump is probably the most effective.
Don't they think they should? Don't you think somebody that knows Donald should call you up and say, Bill, Donald's going to be here at this particular time. Can you come in and just give him the no spin, Bill O'Reilly? Settle down a little bit, and you got this thing.
He didn't. Look, I talked to him occasionally, so nobody has to do that. He knows how I feel.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Bill, Bill, have you ever told him, and again, you're no nonsense. You've told him, Donald, settle down a little bit.
I don't do it that way because that I respect the office of the presidency.
Sure.
When he wasn't president, I did it that way because I've known him for 30 years.
Right.
I go, what are you doing, you moron?
Do you find him to be funny sometimes?
Then.
Do you find him to be funny
but
sometimes?
Now that he's president, I don't tell him anything. I suggest this might be better for the country.
Right.
And, of course, my suggestions are rejected.
Did you watch the debates last night?
I was part of them.
That's
you
right.
Didn't watch. I know you have to go to bed at 7:30, Bubba. I understand that. You have to get up at what, 2 in the morning?
2:15.
I was part of the debate. I do commentary for News Nation, After the debate was over, I came on and then gave my assessment.
And I apologize for not. By the way, I apologize for not knowing that. Well, I should have been better prepared.
If I were you, I wouldn't watch me either.
Well, no,
Ouch.
I should have been better prepared because I got you, big time guest, who's a very good friend of mine, and I should have known that. So that's one I admit.
So DeSantis won the debate because he tapped into the border angst. And that is the most emotional issue for Republican voters, the border. And he was smart in the way he did it. He said, look, new sheriff in town, terrible cliche, he needs to get a new writer.
Right.
But if I'm elected president, I'm going to take on those cartels directly. That's the only solution to the problem. And he hit it. Now, unfortunately, he's out there, and he's not a great communicator. But if you listen to what he says and you look at his record in Florida, the guy could run the country, in my opinion. Nikki Haley comes off too much like Jeb Bush, all right?
Please clap.
A technocrat. So she's kind of there, and she's smart, and she could beat Biden probably easier than Trump or DeSantis could. But she doesn't have that passion.
She doesn't have that one little kicker that you need, that one little it kicker.
Yeah, it's more she's a traditional Paul, P-O-L, all right? So when you get somebody who's an avenger like Trump, that's his big thing. I'm going to wipe these guys out when I get back. And DeSantis is kind of the mini Trump. But Haley, she's just, well, I do a better job. Okay. So neither DeSantis nor Haley are going to overtake Trump. That's not going to happen. And, people go, Haley for vice president. That would be a smart move on Trump's part, but Trump does not like her.
Right.
So that's not going to happen.
How about
Vivek?
How about Aswamy? That's what I call him.
That's like heaven. You should have been up there, Bubba.
I like the guy. I kind of like the guy.
Wants to run for president. Put him up on the stage. Those two guys, Christie and Ramaswamy, have no chance. I don't even know what they were doing there. Why were they there?
Listen, I think I like Ramaswamy because he stirs it up a little bit, but Christie's a joke. Like he really genuinely needs to get the hell out of there.
Look, both of them are provocateurs, and I understand showbiz, okay? But they're not going to win anything.
Well, I mean,
why are they there?
Are any of them
and when's the last time, even in your lifetime, Bill, or let alone anybody's lifetime, that you had a debate of candidates and none of them had a chance to win? The person that was pacing 40 points ahead stayed home. I've never known it to happen ever.
Well, Trump is smart not to do it.
No, I think I'd like to
go on a stage with Christie and have Christie attack him.
No, I agree. I think it makes him look more like a pimp, and it's like they're fighting for scraps. None of them have a chance. But I can't ever think of this. I can't ever think of this happening where the one that wins the nomination never participated in a debate. He just blew them all off. I love it.
Well, Biden's not going to debate.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way they're going to put him up on a stage.
But will they prop anybody up against him though? Or is it just going to be a softball?
Well, they don't. The Democratic Party does not want Biden to run, but they don't have anybody to put in his stead. So that's why he's still there. Now, how bad will it get for Biden? I think it's going to get a lot worse because I think his brother and son did stuff that is going to come out, and they may well link it to Joe. And that, it's not going away, and he's not going to get any younger or more lucid. He's not. He's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
You would think that if you're the president of the United States, you would have the ability to get with Moderna or Purdue or somebody and come up with some kind of synthetic growth hormone that you can shoot into the guy every day and make him like he's on a little bit of Adderall or something like that and get him going a little bit.
Adderall in the world.
You need meth. Bill, a lot of people think that when we get closer to the election that there's going to be a switch and that Biden will be let go and they'll bring in Gavin Newsom last minute. Do you think that that's going to happen? to run?
Well, I don't know about Newsom. I mean, he doesn't have any chance at all.
Okay.
I mean, if you saw the Hannity debate with him, he broke the record for evading questions that was held by Hillary.
Between him and Ron.
He said, "What color are your shoes?" And the guy goes, "Well, I gave 15 people a job." And what?
Okay.
Wouldn't answer.
Yeah.
Anything. Wouldn't acknowledge the stats. Wouldn't even acknowledge them. And people saw that. He's not.
No chance. Okay.
Look, if you understand, if Biden goes into the convention in the summer with not enough delegates, and I don't think he'll have them because there's no reason for Democrats to vote in any of the primaries because it's just him. There's nobody else up against him. Then the people at the convention, the delegates, can pick anyone they want.
And you think that's what might happen?
That could happen. Absolutely, it has happened many, many times in our history. And on any day, Biden could submit an LBJ type resignation letter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it could happen at any time. It's just that they don't want Harris. The Democrats don't want her because she's a disaster.
Oh, she's horrible.
Nobody believes that Gavin Newsom could beat the Republicans. So they're hoping Michelle Obama
really
emerges, but I see no sign of that because Michelle Obama could win.
Really? I thought that was just wishful thinking.
So hold on, Bill. For real, Michelle Obama could win. For real.
Absolutely.
Against Trump.
Very popular
against
woman.
anybody.
Wow.
And she said pretty decisively that she doesn't ever intend to run. I think that's because she's seen it firsthand from the inside and the outside.
Yeah,
and
but man,
she'd win it immediately, especially without any time to vet her. Like if it happened at the end of this primary season, do you think that would even make her chances better?
The skull and bones step in and start running the country at that point. They tell Michelle, "I don't care if you wanted to win or not, but you're running. You can't go against the skull and bones."
Well, she's not going to campaign. There's
Right.
no way she'll ever campaign. She's not going to hoof it out all that. Not going to do that. But if there's no, if Biden resigns and she goes into the convention, they give her that nomination in a heartbeat.
We were talking about this a little bit earlier before I let you go, Bill, and that is, do you think would Biden, while he's still the president, whether he gets impeached or he resigns or he just runs his term out, but he loses, let's say, in the election, you had that little sweet period of lame duckness. Does he pardon Hunter and unilaterally just pardon Hunter and we're over it? It's over?
Yeah, if he resigns, he'll pardon Hunter. Oh, absolutely.
And even if he loses, he pardons Hunter, right?
Yeah, he's got that lame duck window to do it. I would not be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, and so, but if Hunter, what if he? No, I guess if he does lose, then he has that little lame duckness window where he can make it go away.
Yeah, he can pardon anybody he wants.
Who was the one that pardoned? Wasn't it? I forget. One of them, it was 1,000 people on their last day, like Clinton or somebody.
Obama
like that.
did too.
That's Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all do. Trump pardoned a bunch of people, and that's what they do. And on the way out, so. Yeah, Hunter Biden's not going to see any jail time, even though he was charged today with a whole bunch of more tax crimes. He's not going to prison.
Yeah, the headline said Hunter Biden faces 17 years in prison after spending millions on lavish.
Trump's not going either. Even if he gets convicted, he's not going to prison. And that's just, people, they gin this stuff up, so you go into the internet and read their stupid stuff. But those of us who understand how this country works, we know that neither man is going to go to prison.
Can I ask one
last question? Yes.
So sorry.
Because Bill, very busy man.
I know, and I appreciate his time.
And I'm glad he called in today. I'm so happy. I'm so glad, Bill, that I got you on a non-junket kind of deal where we could be ask a few more questions.
Sure, whatever. Yeah.
And thank you for doing that for us today, Bill.
Yes.
Anna, go ahead.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Earlier you mentioned the shift between or from politics to ideology. Do you think that this is something that's linear? Can it be reversed, U-turned? Can the genie be put back in the bottle, or is this is just how it's going to be from now on?
Well, I don't know about any genie, but if the progressives get waxed next November,
okay,
which is possible, if they get wiped out, then the ideological war will lessen. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of momentum. Right now, the progressive movement has momentum because Biden is their guy. He does everything they want. But no Biden, and no Congress, no control, the Democrats lose both houses, then you'll see them diminish quickly. And then
even with forces like George Soros and Larry Fink and stuff like that.
They'll always be there,
okay,
dumping money into the local races now. That's what Soros does. He tries to get these people that won't enforce the law into the DA's offices. You know, you're not going to stop him and those other people.
Sure.
But they're not going to have the power of the presidency and of Congress if Americans do the right thing in November.
Gotcha.
Last question, Bill from Bubba. Have we ever been more of a corrupt country than we are right now? Ever?
Yeah, I mean, Warren Harding was ridiculous, and Native American stuff was off the chart insane. So we have been a corrupt nation in the past, but modern day 1920 is pretty corrupt.
I mean, we're
Harding and the boys.
We're up there, aren't we? I mean, we're certainly
we're up there now.
This era is certainly up there with some of the big the prohibition stuff. You know, some of the really bad stuff that our country was associated with. We're up there. We're up there.
It's not a good scenario right now, and let's hope it reverses next year.
Hey, Bill, I love having you on, and thank you so much for taking out some time for us. And
I want you guys to have a Merry Christmas down there in Florida. You know, slap on that suntan lotion for Christmas. I mean, isn't that the tradition?
Yeah, but I know your game too, Bill. You're so rich. You probably got yourself a little bungalow down here, and so you say that because really you'll be down here with us. I know how you are, buddy.
I'll come down in January, but I'm hanging tough in the Northeast for Christmas.
But if I kind of right, you want to act like you don't. But you got your nice little place down here, buddy. Come on now.
No, I don't have a place, but I have dwellings that I can go to.
Right, exactly. Hey, good talking to you. You have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and I look forward to talking to you early next year sometime. Just shooting the crap, okay, bud?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Bye.
BillO'Reilly.com, one-stop shopping for everything Bill. I love Bill. I've had Bill on for years, and he's just I just love his swagger. He didn't care. He didn't care. No, not at all. He didn't kiss any ass.
No, he didn't. Or laugh at your jokes. I'm sorry.
Another break.
What happens? Let's go. Really? Let's go.
Another bamboozling.
I mean, it doesn't make you crazy or anything.
Bubba the Love Sponge returns after this.